Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic film. Difficult one though, when it's somebody who's alive, you're telling their story. You know, is that more difficult to do than just create a character?
It is. It's more intimidating. I think, there's a sense of pretend that is always a part of acting, I think a wise person once said that we pretend to get closer to the truth, but there's an absurdity to it. And I think that as important as I think storytelling is, I think the absurdity is kind of drawn out more. It's kind of decanted when the person is really there, who you're playing. And I was always faced with that mirror in a way. So yes, and I think also just doing the situation the service that it deserved, and his journey, which was a really tough one, being honest about it and not following that kind of conventional trope that inspirational movies tend to move towards, was always what we were trying to fight against.
No, that's such a good point, because watching it, I mean, he became a symbol, didn't he? But he's a human being, and that's what the movie really brings out, is humanity and the struggle. And it's not going to be all right in the end, really. There are moments. I mean, it's going to be, it's a difficult journey to get there, I guess.
Right. Well, we carry with us all of our experiences. Yeah. I think there are moments of resolve. There are pieces. But I think that we carry with us those things. And so that is what the movie says. But I also think it also says that there's beauty in community and there is love in showing up, no matter the mess of what we are, the complexities of our relationship. And I think that's really, we always said this was a film about a man who learns to take a few steps.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it.
And
Absolutely.
how we tend to, particularly in films, all over the place, sensationalize we want big moments. We want moments where superheroes and things like that can fly. But in truth, I think it is a superhuman effort for someone like Jeff to have actually gotten back up and walking again.
It is amazing. He's a remarkable man.
He says he was sucker punched, and then I think that he had to recalibrate his entire life physically, mentally, and emotionally. And at the same time being this symbol, this idea of a hero or some sort of sense of hope being linked to him in a period of time where he couldn't really hold that weight, that he became that symbol to so many people, and his struggle with that.
So has he seen the film? Is he happy with it?
Oh,
were you worried about his reaction? Or not so much worried, but I mean, you obviously want him to be happy with it.
Yeah, from the beginning. I mean, that's all I really care about. Not to say I don't care what everyone else thinks of it, but I have to say much less so than Jeff. I felt a huge responsibility to him from the start. And he first saw it with his family. We screened it for him earlier in the summer, and he's not very forthright, verbally. He's not really, doesn't say a lot. I texted him before and after, and then he saw it, and I said, "What'd you think?" It was almost like I was like texting some, girl you like, and you're like, so, I shouldn't text her. Just let her go, let her be, And then I was like, so what'd you think? And he wrote me, "Good job." In his, that is effusive. That's really a good, coming from Jeff, that's a really good sign, yeah. And his mom, she walked out, he's apparently in a huff saying, "My apartment's not that dirty." So there's that. But it was, and then we saw it together. We premiered the film at the Toronto Film Festival, and we sat together and watched it together for the first time. And I don't think I've been as nervous for many things. There's an amazing moment at the end of that where there was a spotlight on him after the screening, and he turned to me and said, "What do I do?" I said, "Stand up." And he stood up, and 2,800 people in the auditorium stood up with him. I think it was after this movie they realized, after seeing it, the journey it took him to just stand up. And what an extraordinary feat that is. It was the best moment of the entire experience for me.
And I know you'll remember that forever, no matter what you do.
Forever,
no matter what you do, because the thing about you is you can't put you in a pigeonhole. I've seen you in so many different roles and so many different, and that's why you do it, isn't it? You don't want to be saying, "Oh, he does that. He does the action movies, or he does independent movies." You can do everything.
I'm just really not a pigeon, is my problem. I don't know if I'm trying to do anything different. It's just I don't fit in the pigeonhole.
I know.
That's my problem.
But
I just don't fit. I mean, I would be very happy in a pigeonhole. Believe me. You know, pigeons seem to have a good life.
They do.
There are a lot
They
of
do.
crumbs.
They do.
I would be
Yep.
fine with that. But the unfortunate part is I feel like I'm more mole-ish, you know. So, you know, that's.
But you
maybe
pick
one of
good
my
roles. You do.
Oh, thank
Are
you.
you just? Is it just? Do you think it's a mixture of luck, or do you think you get to a certain stage now where people aren't going to offer you something? You think they know what you'll turn down and what you'll do? I guess.
I don't know what I would want to do, so I don't know if anyone else would. I do think for me it's about relationships with the people making the films. And if we share a common vision and a mutual respect, and I think that is most important to me as I get a bit older. You know, if whatever you do for your life's work, I feel like that's very important, and that's time spent, and or time wasted. You know, in certain cases. But in my case, I think I try and move towards the things that move me, and I don't really have a plan, which maybe I should. Man, has it been luck? Yes, absolutely. I think there are people who are much more talented than me, and maybe a little less lucky. You know?
It's timing. Sometimes it's timing, isn't it? It's
with
right place, right
everything,
time, and all
with
of that,
everything.
and it just sort of works, and it's okay. It was interesting what you were saying about texting, because I know you're not really into social media so much. Is that something you tend to sort of avoid a little bit?
I don't avoid texting.
No, texting is good.
No, I'm an avid texter.
No, texting's good,
Oh,
but,
yeah.
but sort of like Twitter and Facebook and all that malarkey. Do you do that?
I'm trying to ease myself into that idea.
Right.
I'm a bit of a Luddite, and I also feel I'm starting to feel my age. Which,
You're a baby. You're a wee baby.
I mean, thank you. I'll take it. I'm trying to understand it and communicate with it. But I also feel like there's a part of me that wants to try as much as I can, always to at least be as honest as I can, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that on those platforms.
Quite difficult. And also, don't you hate the thing where everybody's looking down all the time when they should be looking up, and people are on their phones? I hate to see that, like in restaurants, when people are on their phones and they're not talking.
Well, more than that, it's just so easy to trip.
This is true.
That's my only
There
concern.
is a thing, although you'd have to go on one of the things like YouTube to see it, but there is a
do
thing.
they have that? Oh, really? Yeah, okay.
They've got a bunch
Their
of people
whole social media
like
feed.
they're
Yeah,
banging into lampposts and they're falling into streams and they're doing all
Yeah.
of that, but it still won't deter them. But
That's that's scary actually.
It's scary,
There
it's
isn't that
mad.
new option on the new iPhone that says you can.
I think in China they're going to have a lane just for people looking at their text. Seriously?
Really?
That's what I'm thinking about. It's
My
mad, isn't it?
gosh.
It's completely
It's
mad.
like the Instagram lane, Facebook lane,
Absolutely
texting
doing-
lane.
I know.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you for talking to us.
Thank
We
you,
really, really
always.
appreciate it, and congratulations on the film. You've done him proud. You really
Thank you.
have.